Yes, sir, man. So we are back, Four Quarters Podcast. Of course, as always, man, you got your guy Pump, and I'm accompanied by my guy, of course.
Smitty, man, you already know what it is.
Yes, sir. And we got a special guest. Always a pleasure to have my guy, Coach Render. What's going on, big dog?
Man, what's going on with y'all fellas, man?
A little clap
Yes,
for the
sir.
guy, man.
Hey,
Clap for the guy.
hey, it's always a pleasure coming back on the pod, man. It's always a pleasure, man.
Man, much appreciated. Much appreciated, man. So Smiz, man, kick us off, man. Where we at?
Uh, we had we had CJ on Tuesday, and we had Beaver Creek on Friday. It's crazy because it's like telling two teams. Like last Tuesday against CJ, we played like I was talking about on the pod. You know what I'm saying? CJ actually led all game until the fourth quarter. Um, we ended up getting that dub, but again, like I said, sloppy game. And then Friday we play Beaver Creek, and we look like the team that I was boasting about the beginning of the year. Got outran, scored 69 points. I think we ended up beating them by maybe like 15 or 16. But I mean that's how they need to play. How we played against Beaver Creek. I mean, CJ had a few good players. Don't get me wrong, but it was just low energy. And like I said, it just pace of the game. Again, I felt like we played CJ's game. Um, and then Friday, it was a totally different team. They got back to playing the Wayne basketball that we was used to seeing, and got a good win versus Beaver Creek. Our game versus Centerville got rescheduled to Wednesday instead of Tuesday, and that's for the GWOC. We win, we get a share. We lose, it's over with. So you
Okay,
gotta
I
put
got a
up or
question.
shut up at that point.
I got a question, and Coach, you, obviously you chime in as well. So we saw Wayne start to run into a little bit of trouble. I think they lost like two back to back, or maybe they had a 3 game span. They lost two of the three. Are you trying to say that they're back now? You feeling like this brand of basketball is back to Wayne ball, and they're about to start cooking again? This was once a team that was 9-1, who we were looking at that may sweep the GWOC, or take the number 1 spot in GWOC and potentially have a deep playoff run. So are you saying that these guys are back?
Um, I'll say that if they could play that level of ball that they played, it was. I'll put it this way: it was looking like they was going in the right direction heading into the Centerville game. And we'll talk about them later because we went to check them out versus Fairmont earlier this week as well. But yeah, they if they play that level of basketball that they played against Beaver Creek, then I don't think them beating Centerville should be a problem. Granted, it's going to be tough. You're going into Centerville, hostile environment. You wasn't there yet, but they got the new light show popping out there. It looked real good. You know what I'm saying? You know you know what to expect when you go to Centerville, especially when the GWOC is on the line. Hopefully they come to play, man, and get that victory. You know, my son could know how I feel to cut them nets down, man.
Coach, how you feeling?
Man, first of all, I just wanted to let y'all know, man, I appreciate y'all letting me come on the pod, man. It's always good to be able to pod with my good brothers, man. It's only right. So had to go
Sure,
ahead and make sure I had to let that be known.
no
Um,
problem.
so I know Wayne definitely had a couple down games, I won't even say down games. I would just say games they have to be able to finish. You know, I feel like I do feel like Wayne is definitely one of the top teams in the area, and like going into tournament time, I do think they can be able to make a run to regionals. Um, the biggest thing that I have a little gripe with Wayne right now is that I don't know if they really utilize KP how they really should be. And I say that just because I feel like you got Tay and Zay for sure. You got Tay and Zay. I think everybody does their roles right, everything else. But I do feel like KP is probably like your best shooter. Your best shooter. He can get to his spots whenever, and I feel like he can fill it. I feel like he can fill it up. You know how he can. Um, he might need to get a little bit, couple more looks, or some stagger screens, some elevator screens, some screens that he can be able to get open. That I know for a fact KP can be able to hit them shots. I do feel like that. I also feel like I personally think at times they need to play a little bit more faster because I think they got dogs. They have dogs on the bench that I feel like just give them a couple minutes. Just give them a couple minutes. Let them fly around a little bit, and then let them sit down. You still got your dogs that you run with, but I do feel like I feel like they can speed it up just a little bit, especially in games against like the Beaver Creeks, the Miami's Birds, like the teams like that. And I love Nate, and I respect Nate. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he does that at times. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's kind of like, all right, how can Wayne be able to get from here to here? You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm kind of at with Wayne. I really feel like they can make a regional run. I think after that it's kind of like up in the air if the kids really want it, if the coaches really want it. And I do trust that they definitely want it. But I really feel like Wayne. I feel like this team is special. I feel like they're very special. I feel like they can be able to make a run in the tournament for sure. So, um, like I said, they lost to a very good Wyoming team. I feel like Wyoming is really good. They're probably going to end up making a state run for sure in Division Four, and losing a Fairmont again kind of hurt. It kind of hurt just because you know you kind of letting Jay McGraw do whatever he want.
Ain't
Like,
no kindness. Take kinda
Hey,
out of there.
hey,
Wasn't
finish
no
your
kinda.
story, man.
Wasn't no
Yeah,
hey,
kinda.
hey, you
Wasn't
let.
no
I
kinda.
mean, it's tough, man, because you got him scoring half the points. He's literally scoring half the points and getting almost half the
22 out
rebound.
of 40, man, without
Yeah,
a
that's
jump shot.
tough. Yeah, that's
tough.
tough. That's
On
tough.
top of
You
already giving you 24 and 12. You already seen him do 24 and 12.
Right. That's a
So
man,
you
good
let him
point
listen.
come back and do 22 and 10?
because they saw that was a rerun. I was
You
literally going to
know,
bring that up next. Y'all already saw what Fairmont brings to the table, which for the most part is Jaden, and he ran it. He just did a rerun on you, like you never seen
Yeah,
him before.
now
and
going
I
back to
agree.
your KP argument, um, it's tough. I feel like it's 50-50 because as a coach, you know that he's not the best dribbler. He ain't gonna put the ball on the ground.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
you know you're gonna have to get him off these screens. Now that's one. Two is you got Zay and Tay who predominantly got the ball in their hands, and it's like I'm not saying like they're not looking for KP, but as far as they're also looking to get buckets as well. So
For sure.
maybe a
As they
time or
should.
two they run a play that's to KP and they go look for a bucket instead of looking for, what I'm saying, KP. So it's kind of like you got to kind of like blame both ends as well because you know what I'm saying? I'm out there, I'm seeing it. There's a lot of boxing one, a lot of face guarding since that 29-point game. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
So
I do agree with that.
that's
I do
all
agree with
he's
that.
that's all he's been seeing. So
Yeah.
with that, it comes, coaching comes into it, you know what I'm saying, certain plays and the players out there also got to know, hey, we got to find a way to get him the ball because I want to say that's what sparked us against if it wasn't CJ, I know it was Beaver Creek. He ended up getting hot. And all he got to do is see the ball go in the rim. And you
That's
know what I'm
it.
saying, it's gonna be a long night. And just like you said, with the pace of the game, like I was telling him, because we talked about this last pod, and it's like I don't feel like in certain games they impose they will. Like, you know what I'm saying? As a coach, you like, hey, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna play our game. And you go out there and you play your game. At times I feel like he plays how whoever he playing against play. And 10 times out of 10, it benefits the other team because that's the way they play. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
yeah,
like you said, you speed that game against Beaver Creek. We start getting out in the open. We start passing it. Then fast breaks. Defense turn to offense. And you look up and you up 10, 15 points. And you got control of the game. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I feel like when you run that fast paced game, you run that half court game, and it's no knock, but they're just not a half court off. They're not a half court team. Like,
yeah,
if out of 10 possessions, if they got to score just half court, I'll give them 5, maybe. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I'll give them half, maybe. Sometimes it might be 4. So it's like their strong suit ain't setting up no half court play, getting no buckets. You know
Let
what
me
I'm
throw
yeah.
saying?
this out there real quick. Real quick, Coach. I just want to throw this one point out there real
Yeah,
quick
go ahead.
because well, we saw Caden against Fairmont and he scored 0 points. So I want some accountability to go on Caden, right? A little bit, right? Obviously, he scored 0, and I think the night before that or the game before that, he scored 29. Now, to his credit, which kind of speaks to how do you get your shooters involved? We had a conversation weeks ago about Springfield, and they have another shooter who's not really a crazy ball handler. He's not, one to go and get his own, create his own production. But Caden's 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3, and goes and scores 0 points. That tells me that, he's struggling to get involved in the offense. So at what point, do we create systems or play calling, if you will, to get somebody like that involved? I just wanted to throw that point out there, fellas.
He gets plays called for him, but at that point, it's the players finding him. Because I'm not saying like forcing it, but the chances of him getting open looks at this point in the season is hard because we're not going to let him shoot.
They know who he is.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like those opportunities where he open and you miss him, them is just opportunities he need to get the ball, because I'm not saying that his chances of getting open now is slimmer than it was at the beginning of the year. So you basically got to take advantage of those opportunities, and that goes with the players on the field, players on the court that got the ball in their hands majority of the time.
Yep. Coach, you were about to say something.
I really honestly feel like, and you might be right. I do feel like, and I'm just thinking, a 0 for 6, 0 for 5 from 3 game. It's all about if I still trust you or not, being able to shoot the next 2, 3, 4 shots. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel like it comes down to that, especially as a player, as a point guard, as a guard. Period. Even as a teammate, do I trust you to be able to hit these next 3, 4 shots? Do I really make this extra pass, or I gotta go get mine. You know what I'm saying? And it might sound logical, it might not, but I really feel like, because I'm just thinking about if I'm a basketball player and I'm on your team and I know for a fact one of my guys literally just went for 29. He literally just went for 29 and he's 0 for 5, 0 for 6 right now. Like, how do we get his confidence up? And that's a great question. As a shooter, you still gotta shoot. You still gotta be able to shoot the basketball. As much as I trust you with that 29, I still gotta have that same trust. And I honestly feel like those guys, I think they have trust in KP to be able to shoot the basketball, even if he's not hitting. I do think they have trust in him. Now I think it comes down, and that's where the accountability comes at. And then you said it right. It comes down to KP to be able to hit them next 2, 3 shots that they give to you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to be confident and be able to be shot ready to hit them shots, because hey, some of them guys is giving up that basketball and they're being unselfish. Now it becomes all right, I gotta hit this shot now. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody got to eat. Everybody got to eat, and I understand that. But sometimes, if I'm giving up this basketball, you better hit that shot. I'm telling you. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
that's a
So,
fact.
so
And he
I
got to
do.
get a little angrier too, bro. I
Yeah,
ain't saying yell, but it's time for me to touch that joint. You know what I'm saying? Because there's moments of the game to where you damn near forget he even out there, and it's like, hey man, kind of,
I
make
agree.
sure you got to make sure I touch that joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Pause.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I gotta,
yeah,
cause you got to think like you reading already went 0 for 6. Imagine if 4 of his shots was in the first half and 2 of them was in the second half. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
That's like
Like
a lot.
I can't really off the top of my head like go about the shot chart, but I mean you hear that he might have took all 6 shots in the first half. You don't know. You know what I'm
True. That's
saying? So
true.
it's
You right.
like
You right.
you feel what I'm saying? So granted,
You right.
I mean you kind of it's on both sides. You can't just blame one or the other. It's both. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, KP got to take some credibility, confidence, still wanting to go get the ball, and the coaches got to be confident enough in him that hey, we're gonna keep going to him and make sure y'all get him the ball. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I definitely agree.
For sure, for sure. Now, I think we'll see how this next game goes. This next game, I won't call it a make or break, but I do think it's critical for both teams,
No,
Centerville
for
and
sure,
Wayne. Right?
for sure.
Uh, GWOC is up for grabs. Momentum into the playoffs is up for grabs. Uh, to me, this is why it's going to be a banger. And when is it rescheduled? I know it's gotten rescheduled. Does anybody recall the date?
Wednesday,
This coming
Wednesday.
Wednesday? Next
Yeah,
Wednesday?
Joe just went from Tuesday to Wednesday.
So
I'm
not this
there. I'm
Wednesday, but the
there.
next
Okay.
week.
No, this Wednesday. This
Not.
Wednesday. We
Oh,
played
I'm
wait.
there.
Tuesday. It was supposed to play tomorrow. We
Yeah.
play Wednesday instead.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
We all there. Oh, that's going to be a banger.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Can I ask y'all this
Go ahead.
question real quick?
Yes, sir.
I don't even know if it's even a question. I'm gonna be honest. This is a must win. This is a must. This is a must have for Wayne, and I'm gonna say why. This is all setting up for the future because if you really look at how the future is, how the GWOC has been going on right now, right? Centerville has been the one that's been leading the GWOC for what about 6-7 years now? They've been
I
leading
think
the GWOC.
Springfield tied with them one of them years. I think Springfield might have split with them one of them years Zay was there. I think Zay might have won G-Walk maybe once or twice. I don't know if it was outright or shared, but that was the last
Was
time
that
Springfield.
after Cups? Was that after Cups or before Cups?
Cups been there for a while. So Cups was there when Zay was there.
No, I'm talking about Gabe Cups.
Oh,
He wasn't.
oh,
Oh,
I
Gabe was a
don't
freshman. Yeah, Gabe was a freshman. Matter of fact, yes, Gabe was a freshman that last time that I went to that game and Gabe was a freshman. I remember wondering who this little scrawny dude was. He ended up scoring like 16 as a freshman against Springfield. And I think Centerville might have won that game. This would have been, oh my God, this would have been 2019,
So,
2020.
so it's been
Yeah,
since
so I
so
think you
okay.
you might be right, Render. I think it definitely been Centerville. Springfield might have slid one in there, but you're right. Centerville definitely been headed to G-Walk.
So that's why I say this is a must win. Like this is a desperational win for Wayne. Like, and this is and that's why I say it's going to set up the future on what happens now. You know what I'm saying? Because if Wayne can even just split the GWOC, that's huge. It's huge for Nate. It's huge for the program. It's huge for the city because Centerville been running the GWOC for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And even I feel like even after Gabe left, I really still feel like Centerville's had a hand in the GWOC for sure. So that's why I say this is huge. This is huge for Wayne. Wayne has to be able to win this game. This is a must win. If there's no other games that's a must win, this is a must win for Wayne. This is a must win. Like you got to go in there being desperate. Like you got to go in there like, hey, game 7, whatever. Like this is it right here. This is it. So I do feel like Wayne has to be able to come in like with a dog mentality. Hey, this is for the GWOC. Like they got to come in here with that swag, man. They got to. They have to.
No, for sure.
I got nothing for that. I mean,
No,
you can't
I
agree
now
more.
that you put that on the table, you right. You
Well, I want
definitely
to say
right.
this too, because if you think about it, we can move on after this to the Ville Fairmont, but I'll just end it with this. To his point, Centerville has won the state, has been to the state. If they lose this game and they lose the GWOC, there's a chance that Centerville, because of their pedigree and their how they've been winning of late, they'll probably be okay. But a team like Wayne that really hasn't seen serious basketball success since what, Trice era,
Yeah, that was it.
Was that
they
Trice
really,
name?
really, really.
Yeah, that was Trice
Hey,
when they
man,
won it.
I think so, man. I think they
Oh, when they want to stay,
really,
yes,
to
yes,
your
yes. You're
point,
right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
your point, Render, they really need this because even though Wayne has had dynamite talent, you got who was the guy that went to Murray State and then he
Laurent,
transferred.
Laurent Rice.
Durant had Juan, who's
Vaughn,
Eastern Kentucky now or Western Kentucky.
Eastern. Yeah, Eastern
you got
Kentucky.
He's at
uh
EKU now,
Prophet out there at Sacramento State.
right?
Prophet Johnson, I want to say, is that his last name?
Yeah,
He was
Prophet
at
Johnson.
Wayne a few
Yes,
years ago.
So
yes.
He at Sac State.
Wayne has had serious, serious talent under Nate, but we have not really seen that talent convert into deep playoff runs, into any success at that next level, in my opinion. So I think that this is one of those teams that can do it. But if they don't win this game on Wednesday, I do agree, Coach, that this might kind of be the telltale of their entire season.
And I'm gonna say this too, and I'm gonna kind of be done with it. That's not saying like Wayne doesn't have a future because Wayne has a bright future, but if like I think it sets the standard on with the young guys on. All right, this senior class they end up winning the GWOC or they end up splitting the GWOC. Right, we have to come right behind and continue that success level or continue to raise it higher than what it's been. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like I said, they got the guys to be able to do it. I just think it just sets that level of standard at Wayne now to the point, all right, we can't come in here and just and lose the GWOC, or we can't come in here and become second now. It's either GWOC or bust. You know what I'm saying? It's either regionals or bust, or state or bust. You know what I'm saying? Like them are just the type of standards that it just have to be now. Like, and that just sets the standard for the culture as well. So that's why I say like this is very important that they win this game on Wednesday because they're just setting nothing but a standard now. This is a standard game. This is a culture game. This is this is everything. I'm telling you, this is
Yeah,
everything.
the big picture right now. Let's talk about Ville versus Fairmont, right? We'll stay in the GWalk. Obviously, an absolute banger of a game this coming Wednesday between Centerville and Wayne. But Centerville was in a very tight game this past Saturday against Fairmont, who's just always dangerous because of Jaden McGraw. Let's just be real. Any given time you play these guys, unless you're Tri-Village, Jaden McGraw can give you some trouble. This was a good game from start to finish. They went back and forth, back and forth. What's interesting about this game is that Jaden McGraw really didn't have like the craziest game. This was a very underwhelming game for Jaden statistically compared to what he normally does. You know what I mean? When you look at the stats here, Jaden McGraw had 12 points and 7 rebounds. Now, Jaden is a 20 and 10 a night guy, but he only had 12 points. But what was interesting about this game, and I don't know where this came from, man, Fairmont is such a weird team. All of a sudden, Sawyer Newman gets hot and scores 17 points. It's 5 threes. Then you got, 2 other kids, Caden Ralston, Nolan Stringer. They hit 4 threes between them. So you're talking nine threes made in a game. They was just absolutely strapped that game. And that to me is really what kept Fairmont in the game.
Mhm.
Centerville, as we talked about before, man, and I'll let you chime in, Smiz, of course, coach. That schedule that they have played this year, Fisher, Indiana, they played at Flying to the Hoop, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Fisher, Indiana is the number 4 ranked team in the country. Now, I told you off air, Smitty, that I don't know if I agree that they're number 4, right? I feel like there were some teams that might have been better than them at Flying to the Hoop, but it doesn't matter what I say. They are ranked number 4 in the country, and that's who Centerville played. The week before that, if I'm not mistaken, they played St. Ignatius. So this schedule that Centerville has is absolutely brutal, and they're winning all different types of ways. They could have beat St. Iggy, and they didn't
No,
really
for
get
sure.
demolished. They didn't really get demolished by Fishers. So this
No, they
game
played
against
a Christ team the next day after Fisher too. They got spanked by them, but
mm,
I think they was from like North Carolina. They played them back to
Yeah.
back, Flying to the Hoop,
right,
Fisher, and then the next day played the
that's right,
Christ team.
that's right. The Christ team went crazy. Um, you look at Julian Sand, freshman. He's really trying to get his game together. You could just tell he needs some time to polish, but the size and the skills are there. He had 12, Trey Sam 19, Dash Craver comes off the bench, had 3. This was an interesting game, but I don't want to make excuses, but that call at the end, again, Centerville won. Hats off to Centerville, but that call at the end was a very questionable call from the young point guard, Dash Craver, who's one of my favorite young up and coming guards. But he got a block call that looked like a charge, and this game could have went either way because it was 49-49 when that happened, and he had to go to the free throw line. He missed one. He made the other one, and there was no time on the clock. So
No,
I
I
thought
think it was like 4 or 5 seconds left.
okay.
But
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Jaden threw the ball down, and
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Um
So yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I talked to somebody about that call earlier and they said they thought it looked like a block. From our angle, we was on the back end of the play and it looked like a charge. You know what I'm saying? Like again, I haven't seen no instant replay. I haven't seen the play since then, but it looked like a charge. But like you said, it definitely was a good game, back and forth. Fairmont catching fire from the 3 definitely wasn't on my bingo card to this game.
Not at all.
But that definitely was a close game. But to piggyback off what you said, I kind of feel like Centerville's schedule, they didn't panic. That's one thing I probably would say about Centerville is if it comes to those 1 and 2 possession games, not saying like they're automatically going to win, but they're poised enough to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think that's a team you want to go down to the last 1 or 2 possessions with because they got one of the best coaches around and he's going to make sure his kids is going to be ready for that moment and their schedule. I mean, it prepares them for those moments as well. So
Sure. Coach Render, man, anything on the Centerville game, man,
Um,
or just in general?
I do feel like I really feel like I think we might can be able to say Trey Sam might be the best player on the team right now. And I say that just
For sure.
because
yeah,
I really feel like when Trey comes to play, I really feel like they really play at a high level, and that's not to say like everybody like when even if they lose and like and if Trey not scoring, and they still not a good team. They're still a good team, but I think when they're at their best when they go through Trey, and
For sure.
I done seen this kid grow up from where from where he was at, and this it's crazy to be able to see this, and I feel like Trey he's been putting in a lot of work. like I said, just shout out to him because I feel like he done put in a lot of work for him to be at where he's at now.
Mm.
And I say that just because, you know, it'd be hard sometimes to be able to go through somebody, but I do feel like if Centerville wants to be able to reach where they trying to be able to get to, they have to go through Trey. They gotta go through Trey. I do think Juju is definitely finding his own in these games because, like I said, he's a freshman. You know, he's 6'7", but I also do think that, you know, Juju is definitely one of the top 29s in the area in the state. Period. You know,
Cool.
um, but I do feel like, you know, them two alone, like you got if you want to be able to have a lot of good success between them, Tyror, you know, and then if Sam Keeley come back, I really feel like, you know, them four right there alone they're
Yeah.
killers.
Yeah. I think
I
that
do,
hurts too.
yeah, I
Not having
agree.
keys.
I
Yeah.
agree. It
Yeah.
hurts them right now just because I don't want to say it makes them a little bit more easier to guard, but I do think
Mm-hmm.
it kind of like you taking at least 10
He
to
was a
12
true
points
big.
away.
Right. He was a true big too. You taking the points away. And he was probably their only real big man. I mean, Julian Sam is tall, but he's a freshman. He's not getting in the paint and banging and getting boards and tips and tip dunks and things of that nature.
Yeah, I do feel like
Not yet.
I I do feel like Sam does a lot of things, and he's older, but Sam does a lot of things that, you know, it's like Centerville basketball. You know what I'm saying? He does a lot of things that Centerville basketball needs to be successful. And not only that, he plays above the rim, and that helps out a lot
For
too.
sure.
So I
Right.
really think that, like, you know, when he comes back, he's gonna add a lot of value towards the team. I really do feel like that. But they definitely are missing. They're missing him a lot. Um,
Because I think too. Go ahead.
nah, I just nah. I'm just kind of like just thinking about that matchup that they had against Fairmont, and, you know, Fairmont will always stay in the game as long as they hitting threes. They will always stay in the game as long as they're hitting their threes. Jaden gonna be Jaden. He always gonna be him. But if they hitting them threes behind the arc, they will always stay in basketball games. Always will.
That's what they did. That's what they did, man. I mean, Centerville had a couple leads. It wasn't by a lot. I'd say maybe 5, 7. Smidge, you can quote me. I don't think they had a crazy lead at any point in the game. Maybe 10 points at the most. uh, Fairmont was just absolutely just lights out from the 3-point line. And watching them the game before, I've never seen Fairmont shoot like that. They didn't shoot like that Centerville won. I don't think they shot like that in any Wayne game. So for them to get hot like that was that made me feel that it was Centerville's night because I've never seen those guys shoot quite like that. I mean, they hit some threes, but I mean, it was like it was pretty much like these guys are all shooters. You would think that these are all lights out shooters and nobody just got hot for the night.
Yeah.
It's funny
Yeah,
that you said that if Centerville should play through Trey, like that's their best ball, but Saint Iggy kind of cut that off, and your man, Roar, is that his last name? He was the
Tyroar,
one
yeah.
that was like cooking. He was the one cooking for him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, and granted, that's when young Sam got the wide open 3-point look. That was another thing. They couldn't even draw up the play for Trey
right. Yeah.
because Jones was on him all game, and Jones was
All
playing good defense. I mean, he was on. Trey probably might have had 12 to 14, maybe, but I know he worked hard for them points because he was on him. Jones was on him. Jones was on
I
him
think
all night.
RJ. I think RJ is just a step. He's a step. I wouldn't say he's out of Trey Sam's league. I don't want to say that, but RJ was to me showcased a different level that I don't know if Trey and this is not a knock Trey, but I don't know if he could handle that next level. You got RJ, who's a 6'5", 6'6", lanky, very athletic guard. And he was all over Trey. I'm talking about if he went to go get a drink at the water fountain, you know what I'm saying? RJ was over there like, is it Gatorade? Is it water? You know what I'm saying? What is it? You know what I mean? Like he was all over that kid. I think that just made it really difficult for Trey. I want to say this about Centerville because this is interesting. Because on one hand, I look at Centerville and I say, you know, Trey, Sam, man, if you could just be more aggressive and go to the basket, I think you're leaving 7 to 10 points a game on the board right now. You're a 14-point a night guy. I think you can be a 20-plus a night guy easily. Ty Rohr, who again in the St. Iggy game, I think he went off for like 18 points, getting to the bucket. Ty can finish with contact. He can shoot the three. Sometimes I'm torn on what type of team is Centerville. Are they a team that runs, like you said, Coach? Are they supposed to run everything through Trey Sam and him be the guy? Or are they more like a Wayne and this is a team game? Trey needs to give you something. Julian needs to give you something. Rohr needs to give you something. Miles Houston needs to give you something. Like, I don't know their identity sometimes, even though they're very battle tested. They played great this season, but I think there is kind of like an identity crisis sometimes because I'm like, well, or Trey, are you going to take the game over? Okay, well, maybe it's Miles or maybe Ty Rohr or when Keeley was playing. Who is supposed to take the game over when times are bad? And if you don't have that player, then it's just more of a team game. Any given night, somebody could be hot. I don't know if they are that. I think there are more so what you were trying to say, Render, which is I think Trey Sam has to be the man every night, or at least, scoring.
So when I say obviously, Cups is going to run the system regardless of how we even feel, or if we feel like Trey needs to get most of the shots or anything. Cups is going to run his system how he wants to, and that's just going to be that. But I will say this though, the nights that Trey Sam does have, like a 19-point game. I think he ended up having like a 20-something point game. I forgot who it was against. Like he done had a couple 20-point games that I feel like
27 not the first time.
That's what I'm saying. Come on now, like he had 27 against Fairmont the first time they played, and I feel like they ended up winning by like 10 or 12.
Yeah,
So
it was a good game.
So that kind of like it kind of shows me that Trey can be the number one guy. But you also got other guys who can still be able to score the basketball as much as he does. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that everybody else, he need to be getting most shots. No. But what I am saying is, all right, if we can't find Trey the first option, then we gotta look for Juju second option. And Ty, you have multiple options that Centerville can be able to kind of like expose a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So now, like, you telling me a third option guy is gonna have a third option defender. It's not gonna have the best defender on the team. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's all about exploiting matchups. It's all about because obviously that kid from St. Ignatius, they had to be able to put him on Trey because they had to see on film.
Knew that.
All right, he's the most effective guy that can be able to fill it up on the offensive.
Smitty called that out at the game. Like somebody saw the tape, and like I said, that kid was on him like glue. And again, to your point, Centerville runs their system, and who are we to argue Centerville's system? They've won state. They went to the state. They've put multiple players at Division I level. But I am seeing Trey's numbers diminish a little bit. He was a 14, 15-point a night guy. He's now averaging 12.8. And hey, how much of this is on Trey? How much is this is on him saying, "Hey, I'm the guy. I'm gonna go get a bucket. I'm gonna be very impactful," right? I can't leave him all the way off the hook because again, and Smitty can attest to this. I've been saying this for about 3 weeks. If he just comes in the game and decides that he's going to go to the bucket more, he's leaving 7 to 10 points a game on the floor right now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
love the 3-point line, but I think he has more facets to his game. For whatever reason, it's that new era where You know, this isn't a knock on any of the new guys, but they love that three ball.
I think to me, and this kind of gonna be my last thing, but I think that Trey hasn't even touched the surface of his potential yet, and
I
that's
agree.
scary. Yeah, that's scary just because, like a kid like Trey, like you know, being able to see him, playing. Like I said, I feel like the GWOC is probably the best conference in the area. I feel like he can really be dominant. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like he just getting his feet wet with Cups right now because you got to think this is his first year with Cups. Am I mistaken, or was he there last year?
Don't
I
remember him.
don't. I
I
don't.
don't remember him
Now that
last year. I
yeah,
think
I'm
he's a
not
new guy.
sure. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
I think this actually might be his second year because I know he was at Bellbrook his freshman year. This might be his second year. So
But I was
I
going to
think.
ask you.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask you. You said he hasn't touched the surface yet. With Cups, the way Cups run his program, would he be able to? Not saying Cups is going to hold him back, but just like we all said, that system is going to be that system regardless if LeBron played in it or Trey Sam. So it's like, is he going to be able to elevate to that level that you're talking about under Cups, or will you know what I'm saying? Will he kind of reach it, but not as much? You know what I'm saying? If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I think he can.
Yeah.
I think there's been multiple games, and I'll let you flow real quick, coach. But I'll just say this real quick. I think there's been multiple games where I'm looking for him to attack.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes he doesn't attack for whatever reason. I remember at one point we were like, well, does he have the ball handling? I think Smitty pointed out like, hey man, can he put it on the floor? I don't see the ball handling. I think we talked about that in the Springfield game. But there's been times that I saw that he clearly can handle the ball.
No,
Yeah.
Saint Iggy. That's the stuff you said when we watched him play Saint Iggy, and then he went downhill and got a nice little midi.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
beautiful
Even
mid
against
catch. Yeah,
Springfield, I mean not Springfield, even against Wayne, he shot the ball good and got to his spots and
he
hit tough
absolutely.
shots.
Right.
I definitely see the potential. I was just asking because the system is going to be the system. You just plugging new
Obviously.
players in. That's all I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
saying.
No, I
Yeah.
get
Because
it.
So
we
I
even seen it
so
with JP. JP didn't even go out there and give 30, 25 a night. So it's
I
like,
agree. I agree. I
you
agree.
feel me? And there was games where I was like, hey, JP, come on, bro.
It's sometimes
You
be
know
a
what I'm saying?
sacrifice though. It's sometimes be a sacrifice to some players. Like when you kind of speak on JP, when JP was at CJ, he was the man. He was the guy that he was putting up 15, 20 shots. You know what I'm saying? And then coming over, like I said, learn a whole new system, you know, but for a fact is good for you once you get into college. So yeah, sometimes you might have to be able to sacrifice some things, especially as a good player as JP was, you're gonna have to sacrifice some things. Now, I do think Trey is in a different position than JP was because I think that Trey has the potential to be able to be the number one guy. But I also think that, yet again, I really think like Centerville is probably. I think next year you're going to see a lot of more mature from Centerville. I think this year is just more so like
Yeah,
they're more
everybody
so
coming back.
everybody coming back. So it's
Yeah, that's what I
everybody's just
told
getting
him
to
at the
know each other.
Fairmont game. Like,
Yeah,
everybody coming back next year.
like
That's
everybody is coming
scary.
back. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So it's like you got to
Yeah, they
see them
live
for a whole nother season, and I think you'll see the more the maturity, if that makes sense. They'll be more mature. They'll be more battle tested. You know, you'll start to
And
see
them
some things
losses
that
don't look as bad. Them losses don't look as
exactly,
bad when you think
exactly,
like, hey, these is only juniors, sophomore, and freshmen out here. Like
exactly,
now, granted,
exactly,
not saying that they can't compete, but it's like in the grand scheme of things, you looking at a young team. You know
and
what I'm
that's
saying?
why
And they playing top notch competition, not just locally, but in the nation. So
that's
no,
but
you
but
right.
that's why but that's why cups. That's why cups. he scheduled these games because he know for a fact he's thinking about
It's a marathon.
playoff time. Yeah, he thinking
Man,
about
it's a
playoff time.
marathon.
Yep.
Right.
He thinking about
That's
playoff
a
time. He's trying to get everybody battle tested. He's trying to make sure that, when it comes down to the clutch of the game, you know,
Who need to be in there? What plays need to be
yep,
ran? Nah, that's
yep,
kind of what I
yep,
be kind of iterating with Wayne. It's like you don't really see that for real. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
yeah,
kind of like one of the differences you see in the Centerville and the Waynes is like I feel like Cups does an excellent job of knowing his personnel and playing to their strengths. I
yeah,
don't feel like I could say the same thing about Nate. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like he knows the strengths to all his players. I feel like he knows a few of them. I feel like Cups can tell you what the 12th man can do the best, you know what I'm saying, on his team because
yeah,
he sees that man as being a role, having some type of role in this team somewhere in the future. I don't feel like they just giving dudes jerseys just to have them around. I feel like if you got a jersey for Centerville, you are a part of their future. You feel me?
yeah,
They look at you as being you're going to contribute to this team some way, shape, or form in the future. You know what I'm saying? And if not, you're not going to be on the team. That's how I look at it. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong, but that's how I feel like the vibes that I get from Cups over there. You just don't got a jersey to have one.
yeah. Hey,
yeah, for sure.
Wednesday night, man. Wednesday night, man.
hey, Wednesday night gonna be a hey. I'm gonna keep saying that's a
Clean.
must win. It's a must win. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a must win. They gotta
I'm
win.
glued, man. I'm there. I might get there early. I might get there at 7. Uh,
Yeah. You know what? I might go watch. I've been hearing about Wayne freshman. I might end up going go watch the freshman game, man.
Yeah,
I
they got a
really been
good
hearing.
freshman team. I ain't been to see no freshman games, but they definitely got a good freshman union from what I heard.
Yeah, I heard they got a good freshman unit. I heard my boy Court over there. He doing this thing over there. I might go watch. I might go watch 3 games on Wednesday, man. Might go watch 3 games.
all right, fellas. Let's 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 get outside the GWOC for just a second and go up north to Cleveland and Lutheran East versus Garfield. Um, this is interesting because the first time we had Coach on, we talked about who we thought the best players in the state were, and I think I might have thrown out, or maybe me or Smids throw out Johnson, and then as
Yeah,
an honorable mention, I threw out Ziegler.
yeah.
So I mean, hey, thoughts on the Lutheran East Garfield game?
High level basketball, that's for sure. We'll get that out the way first. Definitely high level basketball. I forget which one of the pages we follow, but they said they wasn't gonna make another post until these two teams lined it up. So
That's right.
this was a must see game for Ohio basketball fans, and from what I seen, it lived up to the hype. Um, Lutheran East walked away with the victory, but just from the highlights and from what we seen, it lived up to the hype, man.
No, for sure, for sure. Um, it's interesting, man. I didn't know who was going to win this game, but it sounds like this Lutheran East team, who's won multiple states, is they're trying to say this is the best team in all of Cleveland.
Granted, they lost arguably their best player. He
Right.
left. You know what I'm saying? From what they was saying, their best player transferred out. So they doing this without him. They gotta be serious. And I mean,
So
it must say a lot about Ziegler. Now, granted, we don't know a lot of the other players, but we definitely hear a lot about Ziegler. I mean, he gotta have the keys to the Bentley.
Well,
If he rolling, then I
yeah.
mean they're probably hard to beat, and they took down a good Garfield
Well,
Heights team with Mr. Basketball. So
so I want to say something too because when we watched Garfield Heights last year, and again, it's hard to watch one game and make your assessment on a team. You need to see them multiple times. We've seen if you watch, Lima Senior versus Lakota, you would probably walk away from that game thinking that Bryce Curry is the absolute best player on that team, right? But if you watch him again, you might say, Tyson, right? So when I watched Garfield last year, all I really saw was Marcus Johnson. I didn't really see a lot of other notable players that stood out against Wayne last year when we watched him at Flying to the Hoop. That's just my personal opinion. So I don't know how good Garfield is, which makes me wonder: is this more of a Marcus Johnson versus Dylan Ziegler? Is that people want to see, or is Garfield legitimately a top-notch squad? Looking at some of the stats, you got Devontae Perkins from Lutheran. He was actually the MVP of the game. He had 16 and 15 rebounds. Marcus ended the game with 23 points and 5, and I think they even quoted Dylan, who ended up having, I think he ended up having 14 or 15. I think he scored 11 in the first half, kind of had a quiet first half or second half. But I think Dylan was basically like, look, in so many words, I'm paraphrasing, but Marcus is a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like he's hard to contain. He's just a special player. But, again, to win by 9, obviously we didn't see the game. I mean, it sounds like Lutheran's just legitimately a very, very tough squad.
So I watched Lutheran East play. Um, I watched them play against Westernville North, and they played. I think they played right before Lakota West played Reynoldsburg. And I think we kind of talked about that. So I do think Dylan Ziegler is probably one of the best sophomores in the state right now. Um, the biggest thing though is that Lutheran East. I think Lutheran East is really good, and I think they're well coached. I do think that there's some other guys over there. They got Ty Harrison over there. He's a junior guard. They got the big Devontae Perkins. Like I said, he was MVP. I really feel that like Lutheran East definitely has a chance. Well, I ain't gonna say that they have a chance. They might. I think they'll probably end up winning the Division 5 state
back to back.
championship. Yeah, they might be going back to back again. So um, me watching highlights, and obviously it doesn't like tell the whole game, but like just seeing from the highlights, I do feel like Lutheran East was really like I ain't gonna say bullying them, but they was putting a lot of pressure on Marcus Johnson. They was putting a lot. They was being real physical with Marcus. And
I
granted,
heard
yeah, how much he ended up with? Like 23, 25. Marcus ended up with about 23,
23
25.
and 5.
So
Yeah,
that was probably a hard 23 that he ended up getting. Because normally he's getting
that's what they're
30s.
saying.
So
Right,
No, for sure.
right.
I really feel like Lutheran East is a very physical team that you have to play 4 quarters and be physical and hit shots again to beat them. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think they're undefeated still, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're still undefeated,
They are.
and
Yeah, they are.
that's scary because their schedule is not. It ain't short of like it's smoky. You know what I'm saying? I think they. I think they've done a really good job of keeping them boys poised. You know, um, even in the even in the Westernville North game, I think they was down like 10-12 going into the third and the fourth, but they kept chipping away. They kept chipping away. They kept being physical. They kept hitting shots. Dylan Ziegler hit some shots down the stretch. I feel like I think Dylan Ziegler had. I think y'all just said Dylan Ziegler had a good first half, and then You know, I think Ty probably end up having like probably like about 10. You know, Dante end up having a rest. You know, Murder She Wrote. So I really do feel like this Lutheran East team is really good. They might be considered the best in Cleveland. They
I
might
think
be
they are right
considered
now.
the best.
I think they are. I mean, they do not play St. Iggy, right? St. Iggy just lost to somebody in Cleveland. I only ask that because if they got beat, if Lutheran beat them, that would be really interesting. But I
Yeah.
would probably have to say, I mean, according to all the rankings right now, the talk of the town in Cleveland is Lutheran all day, every day.
Mm, that's
They're
good.
the guys. They just matter of fact, Lutheran East did beat them. Lutheran East beat St. Iggy. It was a good game. They beat them on the 13th, 55-54.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And you're
So
talking Saint Nation's probably one of the top Division I teams in
they're
the state.
tough. They're tough.
I can agree with you on that. They definitely tough. They
They are
definitely
tough,
tough.
bro. I mean, Centerville gave them, bro. It took for Ty Rohr to have his best game of the season for them to stay in the game. And I personally still think St. Iggy was 10 points better than Centerville.
Yeah.
And young Sam shot bad. He was 1 for 5 from the three and
Oh
took the
yeah,
game
he
tying
struggled.
shot and missed. So they made him 1 for 6. So
He
he have a
struggled.
better shooting night. It might go overtime, or might Centerville might be able to squeak a win away.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because I mean, they probably only lost by 5 or 6, but again, like I said, Sam had a wide open look and just missed, and then I'm pretty sure they
Stepped
fouled
into it
after
too.
that. So, and they
Right.
was down 3 at that point. So, definitely was impressed with Saint Ig for sure, especially for D1. They definitely gonna be a scary team.
Right. But that just lets you know that Lutheran is really legit
Yeah.
because they've got everything. And this guy, I mean, obviously, the big man was a player of the game. Just seeing some of the highlights, I think the Ziegler guard, I think was really putting a lot of pressure on everybody. Is that he looks like he has a very high IQ for his age, and I think that he could shoot, he could dribble. But I think the difference maker between Dylan and a lot of guards that I've seen is his athleticism.
Yeah.
Like he gives me almost not Willie Parker or Willie. What's my guy from Lima?
Willie Foster.
Foster,
Willie Foster. But who's the athlete though? They're both super
that
athletic,
is
but who
Willie. Willie
You
the
you
jumper.
Willie?
Willie the jumper.
Willie's the high
you
flyer.
talking
He
about
gives
Sean
me
Foster?
Sean. Yeah, so I get them mixed up. Sean is the light skinned guy. He's the more point guard, but he's
Yeah,
polished too, and he can dunk
Yeah.
on you. But
yeah,
Willie, I
Yeah.
think, is the high flyer.
yeah.
You
Yes.
know,
That's Willie.
Yes.
Ziegler gives me his type of vibe of athleticism. Like he's not just a crazy guard, but he's a extremely athletic high flyer. And that to me seems to be the difference, I think, between him and almost every other guard in the state.
Yeah. So like I said, when I seen Dylan Ziegler play, I saw him at Capitol. Like you right, I do think he's very poised, and I think he definitely have a high IQ of the
Mm-hmm.
game. And I think even next year you will see, like I said, a much more mature, get into your spots, like knowing who you are, not doing too much, but really just going at your own pace. I think right now the game is starting to slow down for him to the point that it's becoming easy for him now. Now I think once he get into next year, and I think most of this team is coming back next year, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
not mistaken, but I do think that like once Dylan Ziegler comes back next year, I think he'll be a little bit more stronger. He'll be a little bit more athletic. He can get to his spots whenever he want to. That's when you'll see the Division I prospect in him really comes out next year. You know what I'm saying? He'll probably go into AAU and kill,
Yeah.
but I do think
Yeah.
that Dylan Ziegler will probably Like I said, they'll probably end up winning state championship again. They're gonna run
For
it
sure.
back, and it's
Right.
just it's gonna be scary. It's scary. It's gonna be
It's
scary
going
to
to
kind of
be,
like it's gonna be
no doubt.
scary to kind of run it back on how they did this year.
Right. No, I mean this should be their fourth one. I don't know if it's the fourth one in a row or what, but this should be the fourth state. And I agree. I think Dylan Ziegler will probably be having some Mr. Basketball conversations next year. Now, obviously, Lakota West still has two crazy guards that I want to talk about next between Curry and Tyson. But I do agree. I think Ziegler's going to hit the scene kind of heavy next year, man, for sure. Let's talk about this Lakota West Mason game. And I told Smidge this a couple times because I was absolutely shocked at the score. It was one of the lowest scoring games that I've seen, and especially coming from a Lakota West team that just there's no shortage of firepower and talent. And let me see if I can find that score. I feel like it was 38-26.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Something crazy. Like what?
Yeah,
Um,
that's weird though, seeing because we got to check out Mason, so we know what they capable of, and you seen Lakota West, so
mhm.
like I really just see Lakota just running the floor, running up and down the floor against Mason. Because I mean, we seen what Northridge did to him. Now, granted, if Johnson would have had another player, it would have
Mhm.
looked a lot better for Mason. But to hold a team with that much firepower, because granted, I mean Curry and Tyson can do that by themselves.
Yeah,
You know
they
what I'm
average
saying?
30 plus right now by between the two.
So to see them not even score 40 points, and granted, no disrespect to Mason, although I will say I don't see the top 10 rankings that y'all been top 10 all year, and I just don't see it. No disrespect. I don't know if it's who y'all played, but I just don't see y'all being a top 10 team in the state division one. So to see them hold a team like Lakota West to under 40 points, granted, like you said, it's a low scoring game. Without any intel on the game, is kind of like, what was going on.
Right, right. And I just looking at that, man, because uh, I'm not trying to take anything away from Mason. Bryson Johnson's a dog. 4 quarters, we try to call it strictly off of what we're seeing. We look at our sources, we look at max preps, we look at all the hype, or the machines that are the so-called authorities in the sport. But at the end of the day, our opinion over what you and I see in these games is always going to take precedence, right? And we watched Mason play, and again, outside of Bryson, to continually have them ranked in the top 10 in the state is it's a little strange to me. I don't know why they're ranked that way, and this is not taking anything away from them, but Trotwood is better than them. Alter is better than them. Wayne would beat Mason. I mean, and I'm not knocking Mason at all, but again, and obviously they just lost to Lakota, which is arguably the best team in all of Ohio. But again, kind of a head scratcher, a little confusing on, for one, the rankings with Mason. I don't want to harp on that too much longer. But at the same time, 38-26 for Lakota against Mason, I would think this will be a 30-point blowout.
Man, no, for sure. That is a kind of different score. I mean, granted, Lakota walked away with the win, but definitely a head scratcher just looking at the score without, seeing the game or anything of that nature.
No, for sure. I think we lost coach. Did you get any messages from coach?
My phone, my phone on D&D because it is. It probably would do the same thing if I got a call. Um,
Trying to see if I could let him back in, but I'm not really.
man, I'm scared. Let me see.
Yeah, you good. Yeah, he's definitely gone.
No, I ain't got it. All right. Am I
All
back?
good. Yeah, you good. You good. If he
All right.
comes back, that's cool, man. We always appreciate Coach being on. So, but yeah, low scoring game. Again, Lakota's just taking care of business. They just
Oh,
came
there
up.
you
There he
go.
goes. There he goes. All right, Coach. We kind of gave our 2 cents on Mason versus Lakota, and just to kind of like give you a little heads up. I mean, we question the rankings of Mason. Again, we like everybody's rankings. We respect everyone's opinion in the state. But we only go off of what we see. And we saw Mason play, and I didn't see a top 10 team in the state. And I think Smids and I are very confused on how Lakota, only beats this team, scoring 38 points, which is a little strange for a high powered team and a very well coached team like Lakota to only score 36 against a team like Mason. So I'll give you the floor, man. Any thoughts or any insights on that game in general?
Oh.
Oh, he's out again. Dang, I just said all that.
You gonna have to chop that. Hey, that's crazy.
All good.
um, but I guess just to move forward, big shout out to D Morgan and Belmont, man. We kind of late on this. I don't know if it was shot after, if we shot before or after this, but if it was after, they got a big win versus Dunbar last week. Clap it up, man. D Morgan, man, salute to you, bro. I know you was on staff at Dunbar last year, so you real close to those guys. You graduated from Dunbar, I believe. Your brother's still on staff at Dunbar, and you guys, get a tough win versus a good Dunbar team. I kind of feel like Dunbar one of the sleeper teams in the area, and you guys go up against them and get a big win. So big ups to Belmont, big ups to D Morgan. And from what I hear, because I like I said, I don't know a lot about Dayton Public, but D Morgan, you're doing a lot of good things over there with that Belmont team, turning that program around. So I definitely want to tip my hat, man, and show you some love, give you some respect on that big win, and just keep doing your thing over there, man. From the sounds of it, they got the best man for the job. I know there was a lot of bickering before the season, but they clearly made the right call. So again, man, respect and keep doing your thing over there, bro.
For sure, for sure. Coach, man, let's talk about Belmont over Dunbar. What you got, man?
Can y'all see me?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, you good now, you good.
Okay. Um, so man, that's crazy that we on this subject. Um, man, I really feel like I think D Morgan has went over there and really changed Belmont around. He ended up picking up a couple kids. Um, he ended up picking up a couple kids that has really helped him out as far as guard play with Jamari Benson and his brother Jaquan Benson. I really feel like they came over there as guards and kind of really changed the complexion um of Belmont, and Jamari as a freshman, I really feel like he's had a really good season so far, and I think that is really imposing himself in the DPS league, you know, and when I was watching the game, um, Jaquan, like I really feel like at one point in time, I really feel like once if he's healthy, like I really feel like he can score at a high clip.
Who does he play for? He plays for Belmont.
He played with Belmont. He's the kid that he
Okay.
had the knee brace on. I think his number was like 10, if I'm not mistaken. His number
Yeah,
was
I
10.
didn't watch that game. I haven't seen Belmont play.
So
So any player that you're describing on Belmont, I'm positive I don't know anything about.
so with Belmont, like I think Belmont has like a core kids, that really play the right way, and they play really good together. Uh, and I think against Dunbar, I feel like Dunbar was really like they kind of had the game like composed. They went up 14, uh, almost going into the fourth quarter, and then Belmont, I think I forgot number three's number, but he ended up hitting a three going into the fourth, which put them up. I mean, put them only down 11. And I seen Belmont. I seen them play before they play Dunbar. They played Springboro. Springboro had them up 20. They had them up 20, but Belmont never stopped playing. They never stopped playing, and they got out of Springboro and only lost by 10 points. I feel like that's a win. That's a win for Belmont. Normally you hear Belmont Springboro is normally a 30, 40 point loss. For you to get out of Springboro and only lose by 10, that's a win. It's a win. So I told my boy Dre, I'm like, man, that Belmont Dunbar game is going to be a really good game. It's going to be a good game. So I was watching the game, and I'm just seeing how the game is going. Belmont is just chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. And then in the last about couple minutes, Belmont I think they end up getting an N1. And, in a couple seconds, they end up getting a big stop for them to be able to win the game. So, um, I think Belmont is going to be good next year. I think they're going to be good next year. I think Dunbar and Belmont plays again. I think they play again
Valentine's
coming
Day.
up. Huh?
Valentine's Day.
Oh, they play Valentine's Day. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. So I really feel like because I think they're 1-2 in the DPS league. If Belmont wins the city, because Dunbar been winning the city for about for about almost 10 years now. If Belmont wins the city, I think that's going to change things in the city league, and I think you got to give coach of the year to D Morgan. You got to give coach of the
Oh,
year to
for
D Morgan.
sure.
And this is no
For
disrespect to
sure.
Tony, because I really feel like Tony has really did a great job this year on winning some big games on their schedule this year. And I really feel like it's all love between them, between Belmont and Dunbar. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
But I do really feel like that Dunbar Belmont game is going to be games for years to come now. You finally got somebody now
That's
who's
what's
going to
up.
step to Dunbar and be like, "Hey, what's up?" You know what I'm saying? And I
Hmm.
think, like I said, I think
And
D
they definitely
Morgan.
got the right man for that, especially with D Morgan. He definitely the
I
right
agree.
man for that, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah,
For sure.
I say that because I really feel like D Morgan has been this has been his time. He done learn from Tony. I really feel like I feel like D Morgan has really been waiting for his chance. So I really feel like, you know, when a guy has really done, has waited his chance and your time is now, I think he's stepping up to the plate. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta salute him. Salute Tony as well, because Tony been doing this thing for a while and he's still doing this thing. Salute to both of them. If
talk a lot
Belmont
about
beat
both of
Dunbar, not my fault. If Belmont beats Dunbar, it's gonna be
them.
it's gonna be a little fireworks,
Because
man. It's
I'll
gonna
be
be a little
honest, man.
fireworks.
I'll be honest, man. I mean, man, you got to think. I mean, we go back, what? Our sports era is 2000s, early 2000s, right? And I can't recall, I mean, I don't know much about Belmont, but I just can't recall a time where Belmont was relevant in any sport, really.
I mean, we hear about Dunbar and Colonel White. Colonel White. We played Colonel White. I think the last year we played him was my freshman year, but that was because of all the fighting and all that. But Colonel White and Dunbar, definitely, you always heard them names when it come to Dayton basketball, as far as Springfield at least. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
like you said, Belmont come in there and beat them sweep them and win Dayton public.
Wow.
Like you said, you might have some kids that's like, hey man, I might want to go to Belmont
Yeah.
next year. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying with that.
Interesting, man. Shout out to Belmont, man. Shout out to the coach over at Belmont. What's my guy's name again?
D Morgan.
D
D
Morgan.
Morgan, man. Shout out to those guys, man. That was a big win, man. We really dropped the ball. But we got something special for Belmont. Don't you worry, Belmont. We got something special for y'all.
I
Come on,
got y'all. We
man.
got y'all. We
Yeah,
gonna make up
yeah,
for it, bro. We
for
gonna make
sure,
up
for
for
sure.
it.
Let's switch gears a little bit, man. So, I want to say it was yesterday. We put out a cooker list, courtesy of my man Smiz coining that, right? That's his thing. And this list was a list that he and I determined because we're basing it off of the players that we've seen. All right. High school sports in Ohio is massive. There are thousands of participants, right? On the girls' side, on the boys' side. I mean, there's just tons of players. We can't be at every game. We can't see everybody, but we try our best to keep our finger to the pulse. Obviously, Coach Render and his organization has guided a lot of that, letting us know about certain teams. We keep our fingers to the map press. You have multiple sources that you tapped in with, 513, things going on in Columbus, et cetera. So we try to get to the games where we think the best games and the best players are. And we put out this list. And I'll pull up the list real quick. And these are the best players that, in my opinion, Smids and I, the Four Quarters crew, have seen. I'm interested to hear your opinion on it, Coach. And then also, I kind of want to have some side commentary because I feel like a lot of people, or maybe a couple of people, was a little unhappy with this list. But I'll save that, for Smids. But I had it, and this is just the list that I had, and I consulted Smids before I put this list together. But again, I had my number one player as Bryce Curry. Now, this might be controversial itself, especially with Coach on here right now because he's more of a Josh Tyson guy. Okay. And I have no problem with Josh Tyson being number one. He's fantastic. But I had Bryce Curry number one from Lakota West, Josh Tyson, Lakota West number two, Sean Foster, in my opinion, who was very close to being in my top two list. I think he's very well deserved. I think he's a well-rounded point guard. I think where did he just get another offer from Ohio State? Not sure exactly where he's going to go, but I think this kid's an excellent player. Willie Foster, because the game against Lakota, I thought Willie balled out. I thought he outshined Sean to a degree where I think Sean started to fade, and this is no knock on Sean, fantastic player, but Willie stepped up big and showed all facets of the game. You wouldn't even know that he was a high flyer that game because he showed more of a basketball game. My number 5 guy, and this could be controversial as well because I don't know if Willie and Sean are that much better than R.J. Jones from St. Ignatius. When me and Smith saw him play against Centerville, I was so impressed with this dude. He's tall. He's aggressive. Him and your man Trey got into a nice little scuffle off of a rebound, and RJ wasn't going. I just think he's a fantastic player. Keontae Smith, the sophomore 4-star stud, I think he's going to be great for so long. Just like Dylan Ziegler's hitting that Mr. Basketball scene next year, I look for Keontae to do the same thing. I think he's that good. Trey Sagister, where would we be without Coach Render and his crew's list and letting us know about Tri-Village? We would have never saw my man Trey Sagister, point guard from Tri-Village, absolute stud. I can't wait to see what he does at the next level. Jaden McGraw from Fairmont. See, this is interesting because, I'll let Smith talk about the comments, but I think when people see a kid, Jaden McGraw, if you're not tapped into the GWOC, if you're not tapped into this area of basketball, say you're coming from Cleveland, you're coming from somewhere else, you might not know who this kid is, but this kid has been balling all year long. Alex Mack from St. Iggy, he's strapped, but he got some game too. He got a nice wiggle to his game. And I think the next up-and-coming Dayton star for sure, and he's going to be a star no matter what level in the state you want to put it. And that's Willem Piegler Jr. from Alter. I think he's an absolute stud. First, I want to hear Coach Render's thoughts on the list, and then I want Smitty to take the floor, not only on the list, but I also on some of the commentary that happened within the last 24 hours.
So it's actually a good list. I can't knock it. I gotta go Josh number one because um Josh is the leader of the team. Josh makes Lakota West go. And I'm not downplaying Bryce because I really think Bryce has really he's arrived. I really think Bryce has really shown you this year that he's a power forward kid. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I really feel like Josh, he moves, he makes everybody go with Lakota West. You know what I'm saying? And you know, um, you saw it against Lalamere. You know, he's going at a Purdue commit and a Notre Dame commit. Them are power four kids that he's going at against. And Bryce did the same thing as well. I will say though, um, I will say though, Bryce showed me a lot in that game. He showed me a lot in that game against Lalamere that once again, he really showed me that he's really a power four kid. You know, and you have to be able to put respect on Bryce Curry's name. You have to. So, but I think Josh is at a level of a Mr. Basketball level, you know, and that's just keeping it real. He's at a Mr. Basketball level. Now, I do think, like I said, I like the Sean and Willie Foster. I like that. I like it a lot. I do think Sean Foster is a great scorer. I really think that he knows how to put the ball on the rim. He plays above the rim. I think he put a couple more pounds on him. So I do think Sean Foster is definitely one of them ones for sure. And Willie, I really think Willie's Willie's high flying athleticism. I think we kind of like sleep on his whole game. You know what I'm saying?
For
Like
That's
I
what you
kind
were
of
saying, Punk.
I
sure.
kind of say, and I say this because I watched him at the Lima scrimmage, and we all, I done see we done seen him, AAU. He was with Wildcat. He was with my boy Drew. And he was looking crazy. I'm talking about windmills like head to the rim. Like when you say
He went
above the
viral
rim,
a lot this summer. He went viral a
Yeah.
lot over
that's
the
a
summer
fact.
for
That's a
sure.
fact.
For
So
sure.
but I think you really ain't really seen him like get to his spots. He can shoot the three, like he can hit the midi. Like I said, I really think he can really be a 3 level scorer going into the next level. Um, so them are fine. Now I will say this. Um, I can see why people don't understand about Jay McGraw being on that list because Jay McGraw is probably in the running for GWOC Player of the Year. So you got to be able to show Jay McGraw some. You got to give him some respect. You know, you got to be able to show him some love. You know what I'm saying? Trey Sagaster as well. He's probably gonna be Player of the Year in the WOAC. You know what I'm saying? So you got to put them type of kids. Even Keontae, you got to put kids like that who's going to be Player of the Year in your conference. They have to be one of the top guys. Now I do say this: if you're gonna put Bryce and Josh on there, you might have to put Amir Gill on there from Princeton. You might have to put him on there.
You ain't see Princeton play.
Right.
That's
That's
true.
Nah.
that's
Okay,
the
okay.
that's
My
that's
bad.
the
I
dilemma. See,
apologize.
that's kind of like where,
Yeah.
because I seen Greg Howard from
George
3SB.
Howard.
He yeah, George Howard. My fault. He commented, and I think All Ohio Prep commented, and it was kind of like, oh well, how did they get this list? And it was like, for one, it's only two people.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's just
saying? And
Covington. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
it's a C and I test.
Right.
I could pick a million players off your eyes and their eyes, but we're on. This was And granted, it wasn't even a rankings list. It was more so, hey, these is the guys that we watch live and we feel are good players. It was
Yeah.
nothing more, nothing less. This wasn't the top 10 players of Southwest District. It wasn't the top 10. Like, this was just 10
Right.
players that we watched personally and
Right.
felt
Okay.
need some recognition. It never was like a rankings. And it's like, then it just brought me to like, who's in charge of the rankings anyway? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, if it was a top 10 rankings in Ohio, who to say we wrong anyway? It's
That.
our opinion.
Yep.
You
It's
know what I'm
your
saying?
opinion.
Just like every other ranking is opinionated. There's plenty of rankings. I'll be me and him. Oh, bro, you see this? Like,
Yeah.
but I don't go on there. Hey, what? Like, I don't question
Excuse me.
nobody's rankings. It is what it is. Either you like it, you scroll. I mean, granted, we just started this. We don't even got 200 followers on our IG page. It's just
Yeah.
something that we started for the love of it. So it's like,
Right.
just let us rock out, bro. Like
Yeah.
we ain't in nobody's lane. We ain't connected to nobody. We ain't Nike. We ain't 3SB. We ain't Wayne. We ain't Springfield. We just two cats that love basketball and got enough time to, want to go check out these young kids and for the most part give exposure to the cats who ain't nobody talking about.
I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying?
I agree.
You always going to hear about the Zieglers and the Johnsons, but
I agree.
you don't hear about McGraw. You don't hear about your cats from Tri Village. You don't hear about Dante Shivers. You don't hear about these guys on this type of level because they're not 4 and 5 stars.
Right.
So for cats like us, we get those people that outlook. I mean, and that wasn't even our thing coming out of this. It's just something to do and to love, but
Right.
you get to highlight some of these kids who don't get talked about, and it gets more eyes on them. And granted, you never know. You might get other outlets to look at us like we looked at y'all with y'all's rankings, but. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Don't critique us because I mean we're no different than prep hoops or 270 hoops. Like
Yeah.
we just giving our opinions like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Granted, you might like it, you might not like it, but as far as that ranking list, I feel like people thought about it too much. We go to these games and these is the people that we seen. And
Yeah.
even, we get messages and it's like, there's people, hey, you haven't heard or you haven't checked out. For me, there's only one place I'm going every Tuesday and Friday. That's the Wayne. Wherever my son play, that's where I'm going. My man Hump, he's only one person, but he's going to go to another game. And whatever game he chooses to go to, them's the players he see. Out of those 4 teams that we see on these nights, them's the only players we could talk about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's
I'm a.
basically where our list came from. You know what I'm
I'm a.
saying? CNI test.
I'm gonna actually go a little further. Hey, that means somebody watching y'all now. If people, so if people are commenting on y'all rankings, then they're actually they see y'all. So now you got to look. So and that's the thing about putting out a ranking, right? You only giving out your opinion. At the end of the day, like it's only up to you if you want to be able to speak on it or not. But you can't knock on how you feel about your rankings. You can't knock nobody can't knock that. It's just how you feel. It's what you see. You can only go off of what you see at the end of the day. So
For
like
sure.
when once you get into that ranking field, everybody's like, oh, why you ain't got him on there? Why you ain't got them on there? It's only off of what I saw. You know what I'm saying? So nah, I'm with you a
And
thousand
I feel
percent.
that's a fair assessment, though, don't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I
Because,
I, I listen.
for instance, if Hump went to one game and Tyson didn't do nothing and Curry was the man, in his eyes, hey, Curry better than Tyson. If you went to a game and you seen Tyson kill and Curry ain't do something, in your eyes, Tyson gonna be the man. If I
Facts.
done went to a game and neither one of them do nothing, and I see another cat. I'm like, hey, who? I hear y'all talking
Yeah,
about these
yeah,
two, but who is
yeah,
this cat?
yeah.
So it's
Y'all
like,
sleeping on him. Yep,
you know what I'm saying?
yep.
So it's kind of like, I mean, it's three different perspectives, but obvious is obvious. When you go to
Right.
Lakota West, you know the two studs you're gonna see. When you go to Lyman Senior, you know the two studs you're gonna see. When we're going to a Tri Village and Fairmont game, we know about McGraw because we're familiar with Fairmont. We don't know nothing about Tri Village, and then we see this cat pulling up from half court. He talking shit. He got
Yeah.
this swag. Hey, fam, who this cat?
Who's
Oh,
him?
that's
Yeah.
such and such.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Granted, then we go, hey man, I looked on United Through Hoops rankings. These was the top 10 teams. Hey, we need to we need to figure out how we can see these guys play. And that's what we did. Granted, y'all wasn't wrong. We checked out Northridge. We checked out Tri Village. We checked out Dunbar. We checked out every team that y'all had ranked. Hey, this is for this area, they ain't wrong. And it's
Yeah.
kind of like that's where we went with, hey, these are the teams we seen, and these is the players that we got, and this is just from this area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got Lima Senior because hey, they was at flying to the hoops. You got a St.
Right.
Ignatius because they played at Centerville. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
There's a lot of cats, bro, that we've heard and we know of, but we just haven't laid eyes on them. So we can't give a fair assessment.
It's
Now,
gonna be
I could
authentic.
get on here and talk about somebody. Hey, I heard such and such was good. I haven't seen him play, but such and such said he does this well and does
I
that
feel
well.
like
Then you're gonna be looking at me like,
that would water
oh,
it
he ain't
down.
even seen him play yet. How you gonna
Yeah.
Right.
say something about him?
That's
You know
gonna
what I'm
water
saying?
the
Like,
game down. To me, you can't. That would be no different in college. It'd be no different in the NBA. How could you give a player ranking list on players that you have not watched a full game of? You know what I mean? So for me
Yeah.
to talk about, obviously you got multiple players at Princeton. You got the young sophomore that is one of the best sophomores in the state. I think he's a 4-star player as well. And then the young cat that you were about to mention earlier, Coach Render. I mean, these guys are probably studs. We've been hearing about the coffee kid from Lebanon. I mean, there's probably
Hughes
countless.
kid. I want to say Hughes got a kid I keep hearing
Yep.
about.
Lee Sean Hill. Yep. 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 He a
Yep.
Yeah.
sophomore.
So
Fairfield. There's kids we
Newark,
definitely heard about and talked about off camera, but it's like
Newark, they got
it's
all
only two bodies. We can only
right,
be,
right.
you know what I'm saying? We
And
can't be in all these places. So
I can't talk about a kid. I cannot talk about a kid, good, bad, whatever, if I didn't see that kid play. I
no,
just can't.
and it's only fair. I feel like it's only fair. It's
It
only
is only
fair.
fair. It is only fair.
And think
It's only
about this
fair.
real quick before you go in, Coach. Think about this. You got NBA lists out there. How many times you seen an NBA player list, whether it's an all-time list or whatever, and you like, man, what? You got John
Yeah.
Stockton, what? Kobe number,
Yeah.
what? Over Tim Duncan, what?
Now that's a fact.
That's part of the game. That's why I think these lists are so amazing because somebody's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
You got, you know what I
Ain't
mean?
nobody gonna be happy.
No.
Nobody's always
No.
gonna be happy.
Right. Yeah.
No. And I'm gonna say,
And it's potential based. It's potential based. Like I was
I
telling
agree.
him off camera, you could go on the ESPN top 100 list for the last 10 years, and for each 100 players, you probably only got what I'll say 10 to 15 success stories, or like kids like that
Panned
done
out.
actually lived up to the hype that they was supposed to live up to. So
Yeah.
it's all potential at the end of the day. It's all potential.
Man, I'm gonna say this. So I think last year we ended up starting out putting our team rankings out last year. And that was the year that um I think Miamisburg was really good at the beginning of the season. So Miamisburg was like very high on our rankings. It definitely was last year because they went on a little run.
But they
And
went
they
to
had
Memphis
that
last
7 footer too. Well, he
year.
was
Yep.
big. I don't think he was 7 foot, but he was
I
big
think it was
6'9".
like
dude.
16. He might have been like 16.
Uh-huh.
Horner,
Yeah.
the Horner. He
Yep.
averaged like
Yeah.
Where
about
he end up
23.
going?
I think he's at Athletes in Action. I think they got like a prep team. They got like a prep school team.
Oh, okay.
He's over there right now. But I'm hearing he got some solid D2s that's looking at him right now.
Nice.
So yeah, Miami's bird was very high. It was a team on there that everybody didn't understand why they was on there, but we put them on there because they was undefeated. You know, they was beating everybody by 10 plus, but everybody didn't understand why they was on there. And it was I think it was Vandalia Butler. I think Butler was undefeated before they played Northmont. I'm telling you, everybody was inboxing us. Everybody was like, are y'all crazy? Like, why is Vandalia Butler on here? Like, they ain't played nobody. I said you can say that, but they're undefeated. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you got to be able to show them some love. You know what I'm saying? So like, it goes back to it's our opinion. It's who we think that's one of the top teams in the area. Now, if they lose, then you know they're gonna drop. You know what I'm saying? But if they continue to win, we gotta be able to reward
Gotta
people
show
off of
love.
that. You
Gotta
know what
show
I'm
love.
saying? That's just like now, right? How we had Springfield. Springfield was like rising to that top 5 area because there was 3, 4 and 0. Like once they lost, now you gotta drop. You know what I'm saying? And you continue to lose, you gotta drop. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, a ranking list is just your opinion, but as well as is what you see as well. You know what I'm saying? So if you can be able to go see these teams on who they playing, how they playing, strength of schedule, off of that, head to head, just things like that for a criteria, for a foundational criteria that people can be able to understand, then it's gonna be all right, that's understandable. But you also got to understand too, right? That it might be some people that might not feel you or might not understand on why you got this team on here, why you got that player on there, or it doesn't. I don't understand why you got him on there when he's better than him. It might not fit to your criteria. It's my criteria at the end of the day. So I don't have to do whatever you say at the end of the day. You gonna look regardless. You gonna
Hey,
you gonna say something spicy on there regardless. So obviously my list is bringing some type of pub.
I was just gonna say that's the key, man. I mean, in my opinion, the lists are incredible because they do bring that level of engagement. And if somebody's getting pissed off, that means it's good content. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Not that I'm trying to piss anybody off, but it's something that you have a very strong opinion about, especially sports. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And again, to Smith's point, I mean, I can't tell you if a kid is nice if I haven't laid eyes on this kid. I can't. This kid you talking about might be better than my kid. No problem. But I got to see him. And if I see him
Got
and
to.
everything is true, we can talk about it. But if not, I can only give you the best of what I got. And as Smith says, we're two people. He's locked in the Wayne, as you can see. And then here I am trying to, skirt around and get to Trotwood
Best
Alfred.
games.
You know what I'm
Yeah, for
saying?
sure.
Like, see what's going on. Fellas, real quick, man. Smith, I'll let you tackle this one, man. We got another topic. We got to cover it.
I kind of feel like these two topics I kind of feel like we probably need to break these two down like within itself, because these is two very important topics that we probably could talk all night on.
yeah.
um I feel like we could probably go brief into them, or I feel like if we could put together a day to where we could just specifically talk about these two topics, because one, I feel like they're very important, and two, I kind of feel like they're very needed. And both we got Render, you're a coach, I'm a parent, and I got a kid that plays as well as Pump, and then the other topic is you got an AAU program as well.
Yes.
So the topics, basically, the first one was just basketball, as coaches, parents, and kids, how they intertwine, how it's a domino effect from, coaching, parents, and the kids. And then the other one was basically AU basketball and USA basketball development. We actually had a video from David West where he spoke on the two subjects, and then I just wanted all of us to elaborate. But again, like I said, I kind of feel like we should pick a day out to where we could really like tackle these, because I know
Yeah.
we already an hour and 40 in. I know we'll probably be talking till 2 in the morning about these topics.
It's a
'Cause,
good
That's a
call.
you know
fact.
what I'm saying?
Good
That's
But
a
call.
fact. I think
yeah,
we should.
that
I
that
think
that's
that.
basically it though.
Yeah, I think we probably should hold off because I feel like that's just them two topics just by itself can branch off and be like a lot of
That's
more
an episode.
topics and debates that can be talked about. And you talking about, like I said, you right. We done been on here for about an hour 40. That'll probably take another about 2 hours to be able to talk about because so
On a
much.
light convo day. You feel
Exactly.
me?
Like you can really branch out and really be like you'll be at this topic and you'll find yourself in other topics that you don't even know that you
The
even
web.
got into. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's figure out another day we can be able to like, because I definitely want to like talk about that. That's them are like two topics that need to be talked about, and it might be informational for people to be able to know.
I
You
agree
know,
100%. I'm
so
all for
I'm
it.
with you with that.
Yeah, I guess off camera we could figure it out. Um, I don't know the schedule of the games this week because of the weather. I do know that we play Wednesday instead of Tuesday, so I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot of rescheduled games. I know as far as this week, we got Centerville and then Springfield Friday. Um, so that's what our schedule is looking like this week. So again, two big topics I feel like we could tackle as far as us as a collective. Put some notes together and then just kind of like lock in. You know what I'm saying? From all perspectives. You feel me? We got a coach, we got parents, two parents, and then as well you got two parents with kids as well. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's definitely some topics I feel like we could tackle. And like you said, it might go off into other topics as well. So informative. I feel like we all need to hear it. Even me as a parent, Hump as a parent. From a coach's perspective, you're a coach, and kids. I'm pretty sure kids be tapping into this, so it's something for the kids too. But I feel like
Who's in the pen?
that coaches, parents, kid segment is just a domino effect.
Yeah.
Just when one goes bad, the other one's just gonna be done. So,
Yeah.
um, I definitely feel like we need to tackle those, especially now. I see a lot of stuff online. You got the NIL deals coming in, and I know there's just a lot of promises out there from people who don't even have nothing going on. Just got parents who don't know nothing, no knock, but haven't achieved nothing, ain't went to school, ain't never been recruited, and just hearing, hey, your kid could do such and such, and you got your eyes open, your ears is wide, and you just don't know. And I feel like this topic will help before a lot of bad apples spoil it, because I know once that now that NIL window is open, woo we the AAU window ain't bad enough. that damn that damn NIL boy, that NIL window is
It's a bad boy. I'm
boy.
telling you. Between that, the transfer portal, all that ties in hand to hand, man. It ties in hand to hand, and then not only that, then you get entitled kids with entitled parents, and that's two
Bigger
things.
than the program, man. Bigger than the program.
Right.
Man, listen, hey, you talking about
Program
egos?
here was before you, son. It's gonna be here after you.
Trying to tell you, hey, at the end of the day, hey, the day got an end. I'm trying to tell you. Okay.
I tell Pump all the time, man. I would rather coach a coachable, all right player than an uncoachable, talented player.
Man, miserable.
Yep. Any day of the
I,
week.
I would I would do that all day. And listen, and would lose games behind it as well.
Yep. But not only that, you can develop that kid as well. You can probably
Uh,
develop that kid and be. And I'm telling you, if I get a kid, I love kids who got dog in them. I can develop the offensive side of you. Only thing if you know how to sit down and play 94 feet, like that's what I need. I can get you in the
how
gym.
many coaches is trying to develop though, Render?
It's time. Oh, you know what? See, that's why we
How,
can't get into this right now,
you
man.
feel me? You
Pause.
feel me?
Yeah, let's go to part two because we need to die. Listen,
You
the
feel
part
me?
two.
Nah, I feel you.
If y'all want to cover basketball or some of the games on the part two, that's fine. But I think this next conversation um, is different, and I think it's good for everybody. And I'm hoping that we could, create little snippets. But I think I really want people to see the whole episode of this next content because I think it's hot.
Tomorrow, if we could lock it in, I ain't got nothing to do tomorrow. I ain't got no
Tomorrow's
games.
perfect for me. Tomorrow's
I ain't
perfect.
got
I ain't got
nothing to
nothing to
do
With
do.
it,
tomorrow,
man.
bro.
I'm with it, man. Back to back content. Let's go.
So we get a good time. We put a time together. I'm there. I'm there. I ain't got nothing to do tomorrow, bro. We definitely could put it together.
I think
So
everybody's still snowed in low key. So hey, I'm locked in with it.
you got one
No,
more
for sure, for sure.
again tomorrow. I think I got the alert.
Now Wednesday, Thursday, it'll open back up.
Wednesday,
Pause.
Yeah.
the world opens back up, man. So no sweat. We got a Tuesday night.
Okay.
All right, fellas. Look, man, fantastic episode. We covered a lot of ground. Looking forward to the next one tomorrow. Coach Rendered, United Through Hoops. Appreciate you coming back. Always a pleasure. My man Smiz, of
You
course.
already know, man. Shout out Dre too, man. I've
Yes.
been seeing Dre a lot lately, man. Dre's like, hey, I've been seeing y'all moving. Like, nah, I've been seeing y'all. So
Nah, for
shout out
real.
to
We
United Through Hoops, bro. I
probably gonna have
definitely
to get
got
him
mad
on here
love for
one
y'all.
time as well.
For sure,
Probably
man.
gonna
For
get him
sure.
one time. He like to be in the
Yes, sir.
background a lot, but I'm gonna try
Yeah,
to
he
get
was
him
telling
on
me
here.
like I don't even work the camera no more. I got my nephew. I'm like, oh, okay. I see you already trying to take your foot off the gas. I'm just making sure my nephew got everything under control. Okay, okay,
Nah, that's a
okay.
fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
No, for sure.
All right, fellas, man. Until next time, man. Four Quarters Podcast.
Yes, sir, man.
We
See y'all
out. We
boys
out.
tomorrow.
Yes, sir.